seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks. Welcome into Compute This. I trust you're all well rested from going to bed early last night. You know, you heard that public service announcement about car seats right before the show started. Well, we had to delay the start of the program briefly. We thought about canceling it altogether and just rescheduling it for tomorrow at like 10:30. But we couldn't get anyone to give us the time slot. So, you know, I didn't want to give everybody a refund. So I just said, you know, let's just do the show anyway. Yes, our safety's in peril, but, you know, whatever. For those of you outside of Nebraska, just Google Nebraska game canceled and you'll understand, you know, what's going on. All right, 866-496-8772. That's the number to join us on the program today. I hope you can hear us okay on Facebook. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations is where we're broadcasting live. You don't have to be a member of Facebook. If you want to watch the show there, you can just go to Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations and watch there. If you are a person who has a Facebook account, if you click do me a favor really quick here to start the program. This worked really well. We did it during the Aftershock last week, but when the show goes live, some people have told me it's hard for them to find it on Facebook, on our page. Basically, it doesn't stand out to them. So there is something that you can do to make it easier to find the show. If you like the Schrock Innovations page, and if you follow the Schrock Innovations page, there are different things, you will get an alert when Schrock Innovations goes live. It'll either pop up on your phone with a little push notification, or it'll jump to the top of your Facebook feed saying Schrock Innovations is live right now, and you can just click that to watch it. To get those notifications, you can just like or follow our page, or I can make your life really easy and send you an invitation. Now, I will actually send you the invitation myself. This is a personal invitation from Thor Schrock to like the Schrock Innovations page. And all you have to do right now, if you're on Facebook, is click like a little emotion icon. You know, click a happy face, a cryy face, you know, whatever you want, a thumbs up. Click one of those things. I'll see them fly up on the screen here. And then after the show is done, any of you who don't already like or follow the page, I'll be able to send you an invite. It worked out really well. We did it for the Aftershock last week, and it was really slick. So there you go. I don't know why some people want to watch the show. All right, so here's the thing, guys. I'm going to go on a 2-day vacation. The wife and I are getting away from the children for a couple days later this month. Don't worry, it won't interfere with the show. I made sure I'd be back before, you know, the showtime so I can come on and do the program. But we're going down to Orlando for Food and Wine Festival over at Disney World. It's one of those things that adults like to go do, and you always have kids with you when you go to Disney, so you can never really enjoy them. There's always like, Mom, I want a hot dog, and you're like, I want to try the beignet. You're like, I want a hot dog, you know, okay. So we're getting hot dogs, kids. Ooh, a corn dog. Wow, step it up. So we want to go down there and enjoy it. But here's the thing. I have put on some weight, right? So I'm trying. I'm like, okay, we're going to leave in 20 days. So I have 20 days to transform this beautiful body, which you can't see it unless you're watching on Facebook right now. But if you're watching on Facebook, you can see that this is a lot of this. And so I'm going to 20 days. I'm going to transform. I did my day 1 yesterday. I didn't eat all day so I could eat football food for the football game. That didn't happen. I was like, oh my gosh, if they do a makeup game tomorrow, I'm in trouble because I can't eat like that again. I only get one of those a week. Oh no. So well, you'll be able to track my progress and you can hold my feet to the fire. Speaking of which, we got a pretty good show planned for you today, guys. I was in the all 3 of the service centers this week, Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion. The Omaha Service Center, the Data Recovery Lab there is busier than ever, which is a good thing and a bad thing together. But it's nice that we have a local option for this. And I don't talk a whole lot about the Data Recovery Lab because it's not fun to talk about. But, you know, for example, my uncle calls me yesterday from Oakland, Nebraska. And he says, my computer won't boot. Now, of course, this is the computer he bought from us, you know, a few months ago. My computer won't boot. It just spins, and, you know, sometimes it doesn't even spin. It sounds like he's got a main board problem. It's a 2-month-old computer. This stuff happens. And he was frustrated because he goes, it's a 2-month-old computer. And I'm like, I know it is. Unfortunately, stuff fails. And so it's under warranty. We can replace it for you, but it just fails. And so, I mean, this even happens to my family, guys. This happened to me before. It happens to my family. We have a customer in our Lincoln Service Center who bought a Venture computer. That's the top of the line computer that we offer at Schrock. And it comes with the safe and stored backup system, which is really cool because you don't even really, most people don't pay attention. They think it's like one of those extras like Adobe Acrobat Reader, LibreOffice, safe and stored backup, but it's actually an entire second hard drive in the computer that backs up your solid state automatically once a week. And so his solid state bit the dust 2 months in, 500 gig solid state. It was going to cost us, like just for the parts and the work that I had to do, it was going to cost us $1,200 to recover his data. So we normally, $1,400, $1,600 is what we would charge for that. If we were to send that drive off to a recovery company like Drive Savers or something like that, the price would probably start closer to $2,000 to $2,500, sometimes even approaching $3,000 depending on what they have to do. So stuff breaks. And when we called this customer, we told them that, hey, technically data recovery is not covered by any warranties. You are as a user of a computer expected to maintain a backup of your data. That's it. End of story. You're supposed to do that. And he was obviously really upset with us because, hey, I just had this thing for 2 months. I waited 3 weeks to get it. I've had it for 2 months and the hard drive dies. What kind of junk are you selling? It doesn't matter. There are a certain percentage of BMWs that have engine problem. I'm sure there's a certain percentage of Maseratis. In fact, did you hear about the recent problem with Teslas? You remember Elon was building his cars in tents because he had to hit 5,000 a week, right? And he was pulling people off other assembly lines who weren't trained, just craziness. So apparently the rear bumper of the Tesla, this is totally unrelated to computers, by the way, but it's really interesting. The rear bumper of the Tesla has a moisture barrier. It's a piece of fabric-like material that is glued in place above the rear bumper. And the reason this is here, it will become apparent soon. The glue on some of these, though, apparently was not either applied properly or didn't hold. And some of these moisture barriers were flapping around, which, as you drive your brand new Tesla down the road, woo-wee, my battery-powered car. I don't ever have to pay for gas again. This is amazing. I'm saving the planet except for all that electricity that's produced by coal-fired power plants. Woohoo! So I'm driving down the road, and all of a sudden, my rear bumper falls off in the rain. Like, just falls off as I'm driving. Clunk. What was that? Something fell off my Tesla. What? No, that's my bumper. You get home, and then people on Twitter are sending pictures and like, hey, your Tesla looks like my Tesla. Because apparently this moisture barrier, if it's just a gentle rain outside, the road wash collects in the rear bumper like a bowl, and it gets heavier and heavier and heavier, and eventually it tears the bumper off, right? So no matter how much money you spend on something, there is going to be a certain percentage of those somethings that don't work right. Now, we don't build the hard drives that go into the computers. We purchase those from a source. There are really, really cheap hard drives you can buy. We don't buy those. We buy the nice hard drives because they have a lower failure rate. But I didn't say zero. I said lower. So it is. I had a customer who had a hard drive in for data recovery. It was one of our external drives. I've only had this thing a year and it already failed. Okay, well, it's an external hard drive. First of all, you're not supposed to store stuff on external hard drives. That's not a backup. External hard drives, the only thing you should have on your external hard drive is a backup of something else. And in fact, if you have stuff stored on an external hard drive, go buy another one and back it up, okay? But you have two of them now, okay? That's a pain in the rear. It is, but it's a lot cheaper than the $1,200 to $1,500 you have to spend to get it back if it fails. So in the data recovery lab, almost half of our business is external hard drives that have failed. That people are just using as primary storage. A lot of iMac users do this. They don't realize that we can put a big hard drive in your iMac so that you don't have to save everything on an external drive. We just put an 8 terabyte hard drive in a brand new iMac. It's awesome. It boots to the solid state that's in the Mac, and then it's got an 8 terabyte media drive inside the Mac. So you don't, and then we also built an 8 terabyte time machine backup drive because we practice what we preach when we quote stuff to customers. If you're going to store 8 gigs of stuff inside your Mac, you're going to have a time machine backup. And so it's an 8 gig time machine backup drive. We built that drive and backup worked great. So all in all, guys, the data recovery lab being busy is a good thing, and a bad thing at the same time. But I'm just going to take this opportunity to make sure I remind everybody to back up your data. Take a moment to make sure you have a backup. Now, again, we preach it all the time. If you're new to the program, we have a free product called Drive Advisor. Drive Advisor. So if we go here, Oh, golly, guys, I'll leave on Facebook. I just looked down and saw all the emotion things. I mean, click like the like it symbol, like the thumbs up symbol or the heart symbol, not the chat emotion icons, because those don't work. But if you go to driveadvisor.com, I'm going to type that link in here for you. driveadvisor.com, because advisor.com was taken. But if you go to driveadvisor.com, advisor.com, you'll see there you can download this for free, and it is a free program that we made that monitors the health of your hard drive. It is not compatible with Windows 8. Okay? Nothing is compatible with Windows XP, Windows Vista, or Windows 8 anymore. It also doesn't work on Mac. It's PCs only at this point. But what it does do for the vast majority of people when they install it, you have to download it and install it. It will actually test the health of your hard drives and tell you in advance in many cases. I have to put an asterisk there because there is such a thing as sudden catastrophic failure. If you had a special program that told you when your transmission was getting ready to fail, that doesn't cover you if it falls off the bottom of the car. If you had a special program that tells you when your Tesla's rear bumper was about to fall off, that doesn't help you when your bumper suddenly and dramatically falls off the car with no warning, right? So if there is a warning, all modern computers are programmed to ignore those warnings so that your hard drive fails. It seems to fail just mysteriously all of a sudden. Actually, it's been failing usually for a very long time. And Drive Advisor catches those smart status notifications from the hard drive and reports them to you. And we even translate it into a health percentage to make life easy. 100% is perfectly healthy. 99% is a heart attack. And it goes down the more heart attacks your hard drive has until you get down to Dick Cheney level where you start to have actually symptoms on the computer of a hard drive failure. It won't boot. It locks up. Things like that. Like what my uncle is experiencing right now, who I'm sure does not have a backup of his hard drive. It's going to be bad. But nevertheless, we have the equipment at Schrock to handle that for you should the need arise. And new equipment coming in all the time. There's a brand new amazing piece of equipment I'm salivating over this year that will allow us to recover solid state hard drives at a fraction of the cost of what it currently costs to do chip off recoveries. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So we're always doing more and trying to keep that cost down. If you end up in a situation where you need data recovery, don't be afraid. We're not going to lecture you about a backup after the fact because that doesn't do anything but make bad friends. We're not going to lecture you. We're going to get your data back. And then when it's done, what we're going to do is we're going to suggest, we need a destination. We need something to put your data on. And we're going to recommend one of our external modular hard drives, which comes with the side benefit is once your data's moved back onto your computer where you want it, we will, for you at no additional charge, remote in over the Schrock desk and set this drive up to be your backup drive. Automatic backup. Now, a couple things. This is the public service announcement brought to you by Schrock Innovations. Your computer will not back up. It will not do Windows updates. It will not update your antivirus or do antivirus scans or defragment your hard drive or any of that stuff if it is asleep or turned off. So if it's a laptop and you close the lid, none of that's going to happen. If it's an all-in-one that goes to sleep after 5 minutes, none of that's going to happen. And honestly, turning the screen off is okay, but going to sleep is not. I would encourage you to change your power saving options so your computer does not go to sleep at all, ever. It's really easy to do that. And then, of course, you can replay this anytime on our website at SchrockInnovations.com, or you can call in and we'll walk you through it over the phone too. But if you click on Start and then you click on the little gear for settings, you can go to System and then Power and Sleep, and it says now here's the thing. If you have a laptop, don't mess with the power settings for when you're on battery, because when you're on battery, you want it to sleep if you're not using it because it saves the battery. But if you're on AC power, don't let it go to sleep. Change sleep. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll say never, and you can select never, and that'll make sure that your backup goes off, because nothing is worse than that few minutes where we said, now, see, we change people's sleep settings on their new computers so that they don't have to do it. But nothing is worse than, oh my gosh, did we forget to change this guy's sleep settings? Did that Venture that had the bad solid state, does he have a backup? Because if it went to sleep, he doesn't. But yes, the technicians at Schrock Innovations did their job, and then it had a good backup, which saved us from a very angry customer, because we're going to replace his hard drive at no cost. It's under warranty. We're going to restore his data for him at no cost because we're going to make it right. On the other hand, if we wouldn't have had that backup, we would have done the data recovery at cost for the customer to make it as palatable as possible. But a $1,200 unexpected bill on a 2-month-old computer is not very palatable. And it's all because the thing that saved that for him is that there was a backup. He didn't even know he had a backup because the safe and stored backup system is that quiet. So make sure you run a backup, guys. That's the whole point of this thing today. Make sure you do that. All right. Also, coming up on the program today, Microsoft officially christens Redstone 5 as the Windows 10 October update, which we're going to talk to you about why that's important. No, as we told you last week, the desktop is not dead. I'm not dead yet. It's not dead. Also, Mozilla Firefox is really doing some things they're finally differentiating themselves from Chrome. After years of making themselves look like Google Chrome, they're finally doing things to stick it in the eye of Google and all the tracking and automated garbage that's happening. We're going to tell you all about that coming up. You're gonna want to run Firefox by the time I'm done talking to you today. Which I use both. I'm not all the youngins at the shop love Chrome. And Chrome does seem to work with everything. Once in a while, you get a glitchy thing with Firefox. It's open source. It's free. Chrome is built by a multi-billion-dollar company, and it's free, slightly different. But nevertheless, they both work. I'm on Firefox right now, actually. If you were a previous victim of ransomware, where all of your information on your hard drive was encrypted, there is a new hope for your old encrypted hard drive if you still have it. Plus, Apple has announced there will be an event. Hear ye, hear ye. People of the kingdom, we have an event September 15th, the Lord's year 2018. Yes, they're going to have an event September 15th to talk about something. We don't know what yet, but I'm going to guess it's probably some kind of technological device. That'd be a safe bet. So we thought it'd be fun to do a show about all the rumors that are going on right now about what's coming in the iPhone 9. Can you believe that? The iPhone 9. Didn't they already do iPhone X? Isn't X the Roman numeral for 10? So, what are they going to do now? Because they had the iPhone 8 and iPhone X. So now is it going to be the iPhone 9 and the iPhone XI? Isn't that the first name of the president of China? Bum, bum, bum. All right, so all that and more coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This Pro Tip 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are two products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we have three physical locations in Nebraska where we can help you out. Lincoln, 27th and Pine Lake Road, Omaha, 168th and Burke, also in Papillion at 84th and Highway 370. Of course, we can help you out over the Schrock desk anytime, anywhere you're at, as long as you have an internet connection. Just give us a call at one of our service centers to get a Schrock desk appointment set up. The lovely Kimberly and I did take a trip last week to Des Moines, where we scouted out some real estate options over there to take a look. And here on Facebook, Kathy is inviting me. While I'm in Orlando, I should head over to the St. Augustine area and check out business expansion opportunities. Well, heck, if I was going down there for business, I'd have to stay for at least 2 weeks at Disney. I mean, that's isn't that how the business trips work? Like we have a conference, and we're going to have this essential safety and compliance conference in Maui. Yeah, we're going to have it in Maui. How about that? Like, wait, couldn't you just have it at the Holiday Inn down the road? I mean, well, no, it's not big enough. Maui is the only venue that would be big enough for this conference. All right, 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. If you ask a question or make a comment, I will put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. I promise you, we are taking phone numbers this week. We will not have a repeat, not on my watch, of phone number gate from last show. We didn't take the phone numbers. We got to the end of the program to draw a winner, and we could have drawn the winner. I mean, it wasn't stopping us from drawing a winner. We just didn't have any phone numbers. So, well, great. But if you call in today, I promise we'll get you in there. All right, so iPhone 9 coming here soon. Now, there is a release date for this that's actually set. It's the 12th of September. I'm sorry, I told you before the break that Apple's event will be the 15th of September. It will be the 12th of September. Gather round, please join us for an Apple special event at the Steve Jobs Theater in Cupertino. Gather round, and there's a circle, like get it, their spaceship design building. It looks like a big circle or like a saucer. Apple will hold its next event, blah, blah, blah. The invite contains a gold series of rings with the tagline "Gather Round," as you can see, blah, blah, blah. We already talked about that. The company is expected to announce updates across multiple products, including the iPhone, iPad Pro, MacBook, and Apple Watch. All right, so obviously they're going to release some new products. So what are the rumors going on about what the new iPhone will be? Well, here's some. Now, these are rumors, guys. These are not definite things, but it is rumored that iPhone might introduce its first curved display. Something that Samsung has had for the last 3 generations. But hey, why not? But it's in its early days. There's no hard evidence. There are rumors that Apple is working on developing an iPhone that features a curved OLED display. But rather than curve it horizontally like the Samsung Galaxy, it would curve vertically top to bottom. Why? No idea. Maybe there's some logic to it, or maybe it's just a trick as Apple's working on to differentiate itself. Yeah, like the rounded rectangle. All right, a folding phone is another potential rumor. Now, like I said, guys, these are rumors. Don't expect the iPhone 9 to have a folding spine on it. Apple is eyeing developing foldable phones that will come several years later. So it's probably not this one, but just to be clear, what we're talking about folding smartphones, we're not talking about 2 screens that are held together by a hinge. It's not like a flip phone. This is a device with a single screen display, just like the iPhone you have now, that folds in half. All right. Next up. Okay, unknown risks. Yeah, you can break the screen. Imagine that. You can break the screen. 3 cameras on the rear because, 1 camera was the basic. 2 cameras was better. What if we threw 3 cameras on the back of the phone? Why not? The more cameras, the better, right? After all, the Huawei or the Huawei P20 Pro is bristling with cameras. Imagine that, a Chinese smartphone bristling with cameras. As for other specs, it's likely that a new chip called the A12 will power the new iPhone, if past performance is anything to go by. As far as who will make the chip, Smart Money says that it's TSMC has beat out Samsung. It'll be using their 7-nanometer process. That's a tiny chip, guys. 7 nanometers. Your best Intel processors are like 14 nanometers. So a 7-nanometer chip is amazing. It's a big improvement over the current 10-nanometer chip. the A11 and the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X. So basically, the smaller the number of nanometers. So the reason why 7 is better than 10 is they're able to reduce the number of layers of silica in the chip, which means they've got more transistors on one wafer, which means the chip is far more power efficient. It's going to be better on battery. It'll also be faster. So that's good stuff there. Apple intends to solely use the competitors' modems rather than our modems in its next iPhones. We'll continue to monitor, blah, 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 blah. What about pricing? Now, you might remember that the Galaxy Note 8 was released here about a week ago or 2 weeks ago at a $1,200 price point for the high-end model. With the 6.5-inch screen, which would be the high-end model, we're talking $1,200. Imagine that. 5.8-inch model, $1,000, and the 6.1-inch model, which is the same size as like the iPhone Plus and stuff like that, $850, about the same as last time. Bear in mind, these are starting prices. Now, those are the prices for like 32 gigs of storage. $1,200 was the Samsung phone pimped out. Okay, that was like the best of everything you could get. They're justifying the pricing, saying that the narrative of disappointing iPhone X demand due to high prices off the mark. So in other words, people are not avoiding the iPhone because they're expensive. Apple has room to go even higher on prices as long as there is individual tech or value attached to the higher price. Warren Buffett said the same thing about Apple the other day. He said that the iPhone is way underpriced. So basically, and I don't know what he draws that on, but if Apple is introducing revolutionary technology, they will be able to demand a much higher price point. But if they're doing a Samsung wannabe thing like they've done the last few years, about the only thing that Apple introduced before Samsung was multiple cameras. Samsung beat them with the fingerprint reader. Samsung had a really poor man's version of Face ID before Apple kind of perfected it. Samsung had the curved screen first. What else? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Samsung has out-innovated Apple on. So interesting thing to look at there. All right, so 866-496-8772. Got to take a break here at the bottom of the hour. Patrick, stay on the line when we come back. Microsoft is making it official. Redstone 5 is called the Windows 10 October 2018 update. We're going to tell you what's going on with that coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs. And all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Confirmation hearings for President Trump's second Supreme Court pick begin this week.
Republican senators point to Brett Kavanaugh's qualifications, years spent in the White House counsel's office and a dozen years as a federal judge on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. At the hearing this week, Democrats are expected to ask Kavanaugh about his time as a member of Ken Starr's team during the investigation and impeachment of President Clinton.
Fox's Jaron Halpern. A possible terror attack wounds 2 Americans in the Netherlands Saturday.
Dutch police now say there was possibly a terrorist motive for this attack after they've heard an initial statement from the suspect. Now, this stabbing happened at around noon local time at Amsterdam's busy rail station in the city centre. Dutch police shot and injured the suspect immediately after he stabbed the 2 Americans.
Fox's Kitty Logan. The suspect is a 19-year-old Afghan. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Showers and thunder showers will continue to work out of the area for this morning. Expect some dry time for this afternoon as we make it up to 83 degrees. That better chance for additional rounds of storms will move in later this afternoon, going into this evening. Expect them to linger into the overnight hours as well. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB. Chill.
All right, folks, we are rolling on. Halftime is over. We didn't even have to delay. Too soon? All right, 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. Ask a question, make a comment. We get you in the drawing for a Schrock Innovations $25 gift certificate, and we're going to jump into those phones right now. Patrick, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yes, I have iTunes, a very old Nano that the battery's so dead it'll only really do anything if it's plugged into the computer. So I wanted to sync it with iTunes because I don't think it syncs with the current iTunes library. I want to get it synced without having to pay a third-party company a fee, so it's on there, and then get it permanently on iTunes and then sync it with another old Nano or old iPod that has a good battery, so then I can get the music on the go, like on my bicycle or my stereo in my living room,
Sure.
so not just play the music on my laptop.
Okay, and then did you ever have this Nano associated? Why do you need a third party? Was this Nano never associated with your iTunes account?
I think it was at one time, but I don't think it currently is, and I'm afraid that I think what happens is when I take it away from the iTunes, the music comes off. Maybe you can talk me through it. I have my laptop, my iTunes right in front of me here, if you can talk me through it. So I have it plugged in now, but I think when I unplug it, the music is not in the iTunes anymore. So I'm thinking, because I think I put a different library on at one time. It's what I'm thinking, but I'm not positive. I could disconnect it to see for sure.
No, that's fine. You're absolutely right. If you just slap it on there and go to sync, it's going to really jack things up. It's not going to be a good experience there. So basically, there's a couple ways. I just did a quick Google search because this one, normally I would tell you there's a number of third-party sources out there that will, for 20.
I found one, but it looked like there's a $30. There's a trial, but if the trial doesn't let me do what I want to do, it's like 30 or 40 a year or something.
Right. Well, you don't need it for multiple years. You would just need it for, one use, basically.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to pay anything, though.
Yeah, I hear you. But you're going to buy a new Nano anyway, right?
Well, it looks like I have to buy some kind of iPod unless I can get my old iPod Touch to work. If I can find if that's got a better battery, then I might think with my old iPod Touch possibly. If I can find that one, the music's on this Nano, not the Touch, I think.
All right. So this is an iPod Nano battery.
Yeah, like 4th generation. It's the one with the physical buttons, like the upright style, silver, like a big color screen. It's all pretty upright. What do you call it? Upright format? Very tall and skinny.
I have a personal question for you, Patrick.
Uh-huh.
Are you handy? Do you enjoy taking things apart?
Well, hey, let's put it this way. When I was a kid, every cassette player, every radio I ever took apart, I never got back together. You think I changed my own battery? I would not get it back together again. Like Humpty Dumpty, he never got back together. I'm not that handy. I mean, if you're talking about know your way around a chessboard, yes, I can play chess, but I can't take things apart and get them back together.
Okay.
That wasn't too personal. Thanks. That's a funny one. You made me laugh, dude. Thank you.
All right, so basically,
I can get apart, but I can't get back together.
What we're looking at here is a replacement battery for your Nano online. You can buy for about $26.
Somebody told me you can't get them out because they're like built in. I know to go to the iTunes store, I have to get to Omaha, and I don't drive. It's going to cost like what, $100 or $60 or something.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. If you have Apple, do it about the same. If you take it to a repair shop.
The repair shops won't do it. It's too old.
Oh well, yeah. Then you said it was 4th gen, right?
I think so. It's a generation with the physical buttons.
Yeah, Apple won't do it either then. Apple doesn't work on anything more than one generation old.
Oh, shoot. Well, then if I got a battery, I don't think I don't even own a soldering gun. There's no way I could do it. I'd have to hire someone to do it if I had a battery. This is not a do-it-yourself project for me. I mean, I don't know who would do it in town if I got the battery. If you mail the iPod in, they're not going to send the same iPod back to the music, right? If I mail it to Apple, right?
Well, no, Apple. You would mail it to Apple. They wouldn't do that. But there is this shop that I've heard of that does this kind of work called Schrock Innovations.
You do it on all iPods. You guys do that? What would it cost me to get the battery replaced in this one there? Would the battery be just as good and have a good runtime as the new original battery?
Yeah, basically, I'm looking right now at the iFix. There's a page on iFix that has, here's the battery you order, compatibility, warranty, description. Usually they give you like a difficulty rating on how hard it is to do. But yeah,
I'd be lucky just to crack the shell open on.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't say it's difficult. Blah, 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 blah. Step 4 or 5.
A soldering gun. I don't own a soldering gun. I don't want to buy one just for one.
No, it's a ribbon cable. It's a ribbon cable for the battery. It just it clips onto the circuit board.
Really?
Yeah. So literally, if you, I mean, here's the thing. You know, if you crack it open, you're not going to break it unless you crack it open like with a hammer or something. But but you can use it. You know, if you. They make tools for this called separation tools, but a poor man's separation tool is a slightly dull straight edge razor blade.
Okay.
You get it into the seam and you crack, and literally it just clips open. You just clip, pop the clips on it, open it up, and you'll see the battery right there. It's the biggest thing. It's 3/4 of the size of the Nano.
Yeah, I'm sure I could probably recognize the battery because I have it myself.
Yeah, and you'll see the cable coming off of it. And then if you do a Google search for 4th gen Nano battery replacement, also on the back of your Nano, there will be like a number. And it'll be a model number. You can type in that model number battery replacement and then just get yourself a battery. And then I mean, this is pretty straightforward.
Wow.
If you're handy, that's why I asked. If you're handy, you could do this at home. Now the vast majority
what would you guys charge if I couldn't do it? What would you guys charge to do it?
We charge you an hour of labor, which would be $110 plus the cost of the battery.
Wow, I better do this myself. The model number is A1285. It's 16 gig. A1285 is the model number.
Okay, A1285.
Well, yeah, I'd like to just keep this one.
Yeah, I can see batteries. Batteries on eBay are selling as low as $5. I don't know that I would buy that battery. But
are they going to have a charge left to them, or are they going to be used already at that price?
But there is another one here on Newegg's got them, Amazon's got them. But if you look for about $14, you can get the battery and the separation tools.
What a deal!
It's like a complete set. And then if you Google A1285 battery and then iFix, that will give you a step-by-step direction, possibly even a video.
Say I don't go the battery route and I just want to back up this music to my iTunes, then what would be the technique to do that if I want to use my iPod Touch? Because the iPod Touch has more features. I can put apps on it.
Absolutely.
Or should I have to call back another day for that?
Oh, no. If you were going to do that, again, honestly, the safest way to do it is to use a third-party service for about $30. Honestly, got
it. Well, because Apple locks down the price, which is why you're mainly a Windows guy, not an Apple guy, because Apple is very controlling and locks their products down, which I think we will know that already. We're preaching to the choir here, right?
Well, the Apple products have a place. It's like they make a good product. They're, for example, the iPhone is almost uncrackable from a virus protection perspective because Apple controls it so tightly. With freedom, you give people the freedom to make mistakes. And so, the best thing is when I have customers that come into my service center. Thank you very much for the call, Patrick. But when I have customers that come into my service center, like, how did I get infected even though I have antivirus? Well, that window that popped up that said to continue, you must disable your antivirus, and you did that? That was it. So they didn't crack your computer. They cracked the wetware. And they're like, oh, my gosh, is that serious? Can you fix wetware? And you're just like, no, we can't fix the wetware. No. 866-496-8772. All right, so let's take our last break here a little bit early. We have one more break or two more? One more. Okay, let's take it a little bit early because this next one, I want to spend some time on the Windows 10 October thing. Also, the Mozilla thing is amazing. So if you want a really good reason to use Mozilla Firefox, they're going to start blocking all kinds of data collection that's going to send your privacy through the roof. I'm going to tell you all about it coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed Symantec endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, guys, welcome into Compute This. We're back. It's the 4th quarter. All right, and we saved some of the best stuff for the end here. But first, before we jump into that, let's take this last phone call here. Dale, I said last. I shouldn't say last. Let's take the next call. It's the last one on the board right now, indicating what position it's in. Dale, welcome to the program. How can I help you and Compute This?
Hi. I like your advice you gave earlier about leaving a computer on. I'm kind of old school. The last laptop I had was Toshiba with XP, and I had all the maintenance features disabled because I'm perfectly capable of, deciding when I wanted to defrag it or check disk or, Anyway, this Windows notebook, Hewlett Packard notebook I got, really frustrates me because I also do not leave it on, don't leave it plugged in, have to remove the battery because the battery will go dead if you have it in there, even though it's off, not asleep. And they tell you that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So anyway, every time I turn it on, it's got this backlog of stuff in the task scheduler that it wants to do, which slows it down. It makes it really annoying because I may only have it on for, 5 or 10 minutes.
Yep.
So I've been going through the task scheduler trying to figure out which things I could disable or eliminate. And some are pretty obvious. But the ones that are annoying me right now are the maintenance ones. I disable the regular maintenance one for like the checking for defrag and stuff like that.
Right.
And it'll go back and turn it back on. Is there a way of turning this stuff off, or what happens if I actually delete the task and I shouldn't have done that? I find out later. It
won't hurt you. It won't hurt you to delete the task. What'll happen is when you get the October update that Microsoft's putting out, it'll put all those tasks back in again for you. Because these updates that are coming out, like this October one, the reason I'm going to spend like a segment talking about it is they are entire new versions of Windows. It's like upgrading from Windows, XP to Windows 7. It's like a whole new version. So you're going to get all new privacy settings. Everything gets reset back to defaults again. The sleep settings that people's computers have, that was the big thing. The last one changed the sleep settings to 5 minutes for everybody. And literally, we're trying to work on your computer in the shop during this, this last maintenance checkup sale. And we put it on the bench and we start scans and we walk away because, the scans, the malware scans take like 2 hours. We don't sit in front of it and watch it. And the darn things kept going to sleep. We had to institute a company-wide policy to change people's power settings so that it stays on when it's on AC power, which has a number of benefits. What you just described, how the computer runs like a dog if you turn it off for a long time and turn it on because it has such a backlog of maintenance, that's only the half of it. You're only talking about the stuff that's in the task scheduler. Your antivirus software needs to run a scan. It needs an update. Your Windows updates are going to fire off. There is no way to stop that or unschedule that. They are going to.
I put all that stuff to manual, whether that
you can't. That's the problem. You can't on Windows 10 anymore. It's automated. It is fully automated. You can delay it in some cases, like with the Windows update. You can tell it you can postpone an update for up to 14 days, but you can't stop it. It's still going to download it. It's still going to prep it for install. In fact, the October update, when it starts downloading to your computer, it's actually installing to your computer in the background while you're using your computer. And so then one day you just restart your computer and it's like, please wait, we have an important update, spinny circle, spinny circle, spinny circle. And then whoop, if everything works right, you're supposed to have your update. So yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do with those, Dale. The tasks are automated now. You can disable things like disk optimization. They don't call it defragging anymore. They call it optimization.
Yeah, I know.
But you can.
I don't find the new Windows very intuitive anymore.
Well, when you knew how to do things manually, a lot of times the automation can be frustrating. Same thing happened with Civilization 5. Civ 4 was an amazing game. Then in Civ 5, they automated everything. So you didn't have to set the tax rates and learn how the spies worked and set your espionage points and everything in your civilization. They just ruined the game by making everything automatic. Thanks for the call, Dale. We got you in the drawing as well for that $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. 866-496-8772. All right. So that's a good segue here. Microsoft is officially christens Redstone 5 as the Windows 10 October 2018 update. Why is this important? This tells us officially for the first time, Microsoft will begin rolling out to mainstream users nearly 700 million Windows 10 devices will receive its latest feature upgrade in October of 2018. So what you're talking about here is roughly 700 million. 10% of that would be 70 million. So 20% would be 140 million. Approximately 140 million of those 700 million devices will experience a failure from this update of some sort. They won't restart. Heck, I had a laptop in one of my data centers that it said, oh, it needs this update, and it wanted to do the last update, which it's not an important computer. It's like a piece of junk that's in there so we can remote into it, the data center. It's not important. So we don't maintenance it. When it dies, we're just going to throw it away. I think it was a recycle to begin with because it's just an absolute dog. And so it couldn't install the update. It tried to install it, it rebooted, and it tried again, and it rebooted. And then it said, sorry, we can't do it. We're rolling back to your previous version. And I was like, oh, my gosh, my dog is going to die. This is terrible. But no, it went back to its previous version. It just didn't do the update. But it's going to keep trying to do it over and over and over again from now until forever, or until I manually do the update and get around to working on it. Plumber's pipes and all. So basically, here's what's going to happen. In October, your computer is going to automatically download the Windows 10 October 2018 Redstone 5 update. There are a number of changes in the Redstone 5 update. Most of them are under the hood. You're not going to see a whole lot of visual graphical changes. It's not going to make it look different. But what's going to happen is when this update downloads, what happens inside the computer? This is non-technical, guys. So what happens in the computer is you have Windows 10 just chilling out, doing its little thing. And then the new Windows 10, the October update comes in. It sets up a little camp off to the side and starts setting up a whole new version of Windows 10 for your computer. And everything is right with the world. Everything is ready to go. One day, you reboot. And then what ends up happening is all of your stuff, your programs, which they don't give us a way to transfer programs, but somehow Microsoft can do it, all your programs, all your registry, all your files, they literally get picked up and removed from the old version of Windows and then deposited into the new version of Windows. Then your computer, when it reboots, it boots to the new version of Windows. All your stuff is there. The new version of Windows is there. It's a great way to do a whole new version upgrade. It's exactly what it is. It's a new edition of Windows 10, basically. So the old version will stick around for 30 days in case you want to roll back, and then after that, it gets discarded automatically. Kind of one of those automated maintenance tasks there. The problem comes in. What happens if that update gets interrupted in the middle? Your data gets lost because it's moving it. It's cutting it from one location and pasting it to another location. And if you cut it from one location and then the computer goes, the data got cut. It's off in the ether. It never got pasted. It's gone. If you have a computer, when you move everything over that has a virus on it or has a bad hard drive or bad memory, something like that, you're going to have all kinds of issues. So one of the things that we do at Schrock is we set up a program called the Schrock Safe Upgrade. It's a piece of software that we built that installs Windows 10 updates. Because when these updates come out, we're saying, okay, bring it into the service center. It's $80. We'll do it on the bench. We'll have a technician do it for you. That way you get it installed properly the way it's supposed to be done. And we make sure everything is good. And if it doesn't work for some reason, you have a warranty. Lots of customers did that. It was almost more popular than our maintenance checkup sales. So many customers liked it that we were having trouble keeping up with the demand to do that service for people, because the alternative, if something goes wrong, you're looking at a $200 bill. So a lot of people, especially, it seems to happen to the same people every time. A lot of people just would prefer to have the $80 upgrade, have it done, have a warranty, and not worry about it. Okay, great. Well, we couldn't keep up with demand, and that's not good service, because more and more people kept wanting us to do it, and we only have so many bench spots. So we created a piece of software called the Schrock Safe Upgrade, and what it does is it does everything exactly the way we would do it on the bench. It checks your computer to make sure your hard drive is good. Then it goes through and checks to see if you have all of your latest Windows, your third-party software up to date. So do you have your Flash up to date, your Java up to date, things like that. Make sure all that's good. Once it knows you have a good hard drive and all that's up to date, next up, it's going to go in and say, okay, now that we know all that's good, do you have antivirus protection? Because if you don't have good antivirus protection, you could possibly have a virus on the computer. We're going to throw a warning for that. And then after all these things are done, then it's going to encourage you to make a backup, because as Thor lectured you at the start of the show, you need to have a backup. And so once all this stuff is said and done, the bottom line is you're going to end up with a computer that is ready for the update. Then we install the update. And when we install the update on your computer, if something goes sideways or wrong, or the update doesn't take for some reason, you actually have a warranty. You have a warranty that will allow you to either get help over the Schrock desk. So if you're remotely, if you're in St. Augustine, Florida, if you're in Round Rock, Texas, if you're in Des Moines, where we don't have service centers yet, then what we can do is we can help you over the Schrock desk, get everything up and running again. It's a nice way to have that level of support behind you that you wouldn't have otherwise if you let Microsoft just automatically do this thing. So here's the deal. We have the, I put a link on Facebook here too to our specials page. It's available at SchrockInnovations.com. You go there, you click on shop and then specials, and then you can see the Schrock Safe Upgrade. It's $50 if you do it yourself at home. So you save $30 by doing it at home yourself, and you get all the same benefits. So that's it, the Schrock Safe Upgrade, guys. I would encourage, we're going to be talking more and more about this as time goes forward, because you really, loss of all your data, that's a data recovery. That starts at $400. Windows doesn't reboot after the update. Happens all the time. That's a $220 fix. It's a backup, wipe, and install. Windows reboots and all of your stuff is missing. We have to track it down and copy it over. That's 2 hours of labor. Pretty much anything that goes wrong is going to be at least 2 hours of labor. Which is $220. You don't want to fall into that trap. The other thing that's nice about it is once you do the upgrade, sometimes after you get this new version of Windows 10, stuff doesn't work right. So a printer that was compatible with the previous version of Windows 10 may not be compatible with the new version of Windows 10. And you'll say it worked on Windows 10 before, but this is a whole new version of Windows 10. So it's nice to have that level of support that if there's a way to make it work, the guys at Schrock will make it work for you. 866-496-8772. Oh, one last thing that I didn't mention is the Schrock Safe Upgrade. We do limit the number of installations of that we sell to 1,000 total installs, because if something does go wrong, we have to have the human response capability to make it right. So far, we still have 952 in stock over there on the website. Like I said, SchrockInnovations.com, shop and specials. So we have plenty in stock. We're not going to sell out this weekend or anything, but we usually do sell out before the end of the special. We also haven't sent emails to customers yet, because, before today, before this week, it wasn't September yet, right? So now it's September. All right. So the thing that you want to hear about, the good news today, because now we've talked about all the grumpy stuff. The good news is what Firefox is doing right now. So Firefox is made by a company called Mozilla. Mozilla is an open source company. They used to get a lot of money from Google. before Google had Chrome. Google would pay Mozilla to set them as the default search engine. Well, now they don't do that anymore. Mozilla doesn't get money. That's why when you install Firefox, the default search engine is Yahoo now. Yahoo's paying them money. I don't know where Yahoo gets the money. I thought they were broke. Mozilla on Thursday announced that it plans to block ad trackers on future versions of Firefox by default. The new settings are slated to be phased in gradually, starting with an initiative that focuses on blocking trackers that slow down your page loads. This would be Google Analytics. Yeah, Google's going to love this. After that, Mozilla plans to remove cross-site tracking. That's Google AdWords. That slows down pages as well. Then it will move on to mitigating harmful practices like crypto mining. This is where you go to a website and it uses your computer to mine cryptocurrency while you're on the website. Quote, some sites will still want user data in exchange for content, Mozilla's Nick Wynn wrote on a blog post. But now they will have to ask for it. A positive change for people who up until now had no idea this value exchange was happening. So you can still, when you go to a website now, it'll say, do you want to allow Google to track your usage of this site? Everybody uses Google AdSense. We use it. We put it on every website, or not Google AdSense, excuse me, Google Analytics, because it allows us to see how people use our website and allows us to improve the website and make it better and faster for other customers in the future. So yeah, we have Google Analytics. They want you to put it in the header, which gets loaded first on the page, makes everything slow down. We put it in the footer. I mean, that's like our needs come last after your needs. Need to draw a winner of that $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. But if you haven't used Firefox, you can get Firefox. It's free. You can get it for your computer. It's getfirefox.com. You can also get it on your phone, which Firefox for your phone is awesome. They have it for iPhone and Android. And you can synchronize all your bookmarks. Dale, thanks for the call today. We got you in the drawing, and you won the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Stay tuned for the Aftershock. More coming up on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, and we'll see you next weekend for another edition of Compute This.